Hello, this is Big Boss Rescue Chief of Humane Emergency Animal Rescue. Welcome to our series, Animal Rescue Postmortem, where we analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of animal rescues throughout the world. Welcome to Postmortem number 23, where we're going to continue our theme of attacks. This time we're going to focus on alligators. I'd like to take the time to remind you there was a warning at the beginning of this video that if you've got delicate sensibilities, you should have left already. So don't complain because you saw something that upset you, because I don't care that it upsets you. I want this to upset people. I want this to raise awareness in people's minds so that we can prevent this from happening from other human beings, and equally important, they're animals. Okay, let's start off with reading the statistic about alligator attacks in Florida. Alligator attacks in Florida are rare. There were 442 unprovoked alligator bites in Florida from 1948 to 2021, averaging 6 a year. 26 of those bites were fatal. That goes on to say about a nuisance program down here that's immaterial to what we're talking about. Pet owners are advised to keep their animals on a leash and away from water's edge. I'll say that again because we're going to talk about that more. Pet owners are advised to keep their animals on a leash and away from water's edge. And in this video, you'll see why this is applicable to animal rescue. Okay, and we're just going to play this for fun because don't pick up alligators and play with them. Okay, watch how fast this happens. This is really great. Snap. Yeah, and then just don't pull an alligator off like that. You'll rip and tear tissue and flesh, and you can see the wound that this guy got. So, not so smart, huh? All right, that was just for fun. Let's get right to it. We're going to switch over here to this guy's story. Let's just hear what the news has to say about this. It's pretty short.
Alligator attacked Jordan early Sunday morning, biting off his right arm and nearly taking his life.
They got my elbow, so I don't have an elbow, but I can still move my arm around and whatnot.
Jordan doesn't remember much of what happened. What he does recall is that the bar he was at, Banditos in Port Charlotte, was busy, and the bathroom line was long, so he walked to the pond out back.
I just saw a little lake, just trying to go over there and just, take a little pee and whatnot. Something happened where I either tripped or something, the ground below me kind of just went down, and I ended up in the water, and that's literally the last thing I remember.
The next time he opened his eyes, he was here, in the hospital. It's then he found out that the gator ate his arm.
Confusion, I was like, whoa, because I woke up and I was just sitting here, and then I looked over, and then I saw my arm the way it was, and I was like, ooh. It kind of just looked like my arm just there, but not there.
People at the bar rushed to help Jordan, pulling him from the water and putting a tourniquet on his arm.
I call them angels that were there that saved his life. The chances of someone being there with a tourniquet, to me, it's a miracle that he's here.
Okay. I'm just going to go take a leak down by the lake here. Oops, I fell in, and next thing I know, my arm is ripped off. Gone. It probably was torn off because of the way that they attack. When an animal like that attacks, an alligator or crocodile, it'll grab the prey, and if it holds onto the bank at all, it starts twisting. It'll knock it off its feet and then get it into the water and try to drown it, or just start tearing it to pieces right away as quickly as possible, because it might have other alligators around that want to compete for that food source. All right, sorry I didn't put that full screen. We'll do the next one full screen here. All right, so now we're going to listen to the 911 calls. I am speaking from experience. I've been an emergency dispatcher before, so I'm going to go in a little bit on some of these dispatchers because they're trying to elicit completely useless information in here that really isn't important to the actual rescue event, that can't be established on the scene by rescue personnel. Now, the job of the dispatcher is to try to get as much information as possible for the responding crews. I understand that, but some of the information, it's not necessary. And the more important it is to get the location and to keep an eye on whether that person comes to the surface or not. And they're just getting jabber, just field time information as far as I'm concerned.
2023 12:06 and 50 seconds. 911 unit, please. Fire or ambulance. Hello?
Oh my God.
Hello? This is 911.
911, it's a woman in the alligator's daughter. She's on a Delia Street.
She's what?
The alligator's daughter.
There's an
Alligator's
a
daughter.
dog?
An alligator.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this. I can clearly hear this audio. There's no mistaking what this lady's saying. And now the dispatcher saying a dog? I didn't hear anything in this text. The text isn't matching what's actually being said here necessarily, so you can't go by what you're seeing on the screen there. I didn't hear the lady say anything about a dog, although she does mention later that the dog was attacked at the same time the lady was. So maybe she said it, I didn't hear it, but I clearly heard her say alligator 3 times.
Alligator has a woman.
Okay, what's the address? What's the address?
Okay. The dispatcher, that was inappropriate behavior by the dispatcher. The dispatcher said, instructed him, ma'am, I need you to calm down. I need the information that I need the address. So I need you to calm down. Give me the address of the location that you're at, or give me something close to where you're at so we know your location and we can get the right equipment to you.
Okay, how big is it?
Okay. She's asking how big the alligator is. That's unnecessary information. It doesn't matter how big the alligator is. Somebody's being attacked by an alligator.
It's huge. I don't have anything to get to her.
Is she alive?
So here's the thing to remember. At the beginning of this call, the lady is actually trying to effect a rescue as the call's being made. Sometimes it's better to do the rescue, then call for help. Okay? I'm just going to say that.
Yes, she's alive.
Right now, she's alive.
He's holding her in the lake.
It says she's holding her. She's saying he's pulling her in the lake, is what the text is wrong on the screen there.
Okay, hold on, ma'am. I'm going to transfer you over to the fire department, okay? What's your name?
It's too late. It's too late. Oh my God.
Did you pull her under?
Yes. Oh no.
It pulled her under?
Okay, she asked if it pulled her under. That lady gave her an affirmative yes on there, and then she asks again. Maybe she's not, I don't know, like, what's up with this dispatcher? Maybe she's not smart. Maybe she's not, she can't hear properly. I don't know.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm going to transfer you to the fire department.
Yeah, you're better off transferring her over there. But then the fire department starts asking questions that really aren't pertinent to this situation.
Fire rescue, what is the address of your emergency?
So instead of that dispatcher talking to the other dispatcher, they patch the call through. Because here in Broward County, when you call 911, it goes to a central location. And then that dispatch center decides where the call should be forwarded to. So instead of one dispatcher talking to fire rescue dispatcher and saying, hey, you got this situation here, I'm transferring this call over to you, they forward the call so it rings over. So now the dispatcher here at I'm assuming fire rescue is now asking for the same information.
Okay. Okay. All right. How old is the female? How old is she?
She's old. She's 75.
Oh, okay. All right. And you said an alligator pulled her in?
Pulled her in the lake. I can't see her. I ran to get a pole to pull her out, and I can't see her.
Okay. All right.
She's on the street side.
Okay. All right. You don't see any of her body? Nothing sticking out?
Nothing. I see a shoe. She was swimming toward me. I said, come to the bank. I was trying to stick a pole out for her, and I was calling you at the same time, and she's gone.
Okay.
She's gone.
Now stay on the phone with me, okay? I need you to take a deep breath. What's your name?
This dispatcher's not reading the situation correctly, or she has a habit of saying, I need you to take breath. This lady is clearly communicating to her. She is a little bit excited, but she doesn't need to direct her to take a deep breath. I think the dispatcher needs to take a deep breath.
I have lots of units that are coming to you, okay? And if we get disconnected, listen to your phone numbers. Okay, I want you just to sit down, relax, and I want you to tell me.
That is really bad advice by that dispatcher. I want you to sit down and relax. She doesn't know the location of this lady. What if the lady's right there where that alligator pulled that lady into the water? So the dispatcher's giving really bad advice. You're going to hear this from me and other emergency responders, and it is situation dependent. Sometimes the best thing to do is call up the dispatcher, give them the address of the location of what the incident is, the nature of the incident, and then hang up. Okay? But that's situation dependent. All right? So don't take that what I just said as like, oh, you should always do that, because that's not always true.
Okay.
Okay.
How long has she been in the water?
2 minutes.
Okay.
3 minutes.
Oh my God. Who else is with you? Are you by yourself?
Yes, I am. I just haven't.
That doesn't matter if there's another person with her. That is completely useless information.
She was walking her little dog, and the gator grabbed the dog
and took her.
Fell down.
Okay.
And took her.
Okay.
Oh God. Oh my God.
I'm getting stressed out with these dispatchers. And you can hear the dispatcher typing.
Back to my house. Well, we back up to small lake.
This gets the point across. The dispatcher's trying to get information. They're using a computer-aided dispatch, so they're punching as much into the computer as possible, and then that's showing up on everybody's screen who's en route to this incident. So you got the point of what's going on with the beginning of the incident here. So we're going to move on from that, and then here's the story.
Much to imagine. You can see how calm and peaceful this lake here is behind me, but a horrifying scene unfolded here just around noon today. Neighbors who live here tell us that this 85-year-old woman was walking her dog along the banks with suddenly a 10-foot-long alligator
walking her dog along the banks. I'm gonna show you with this pointer here. You shouldn't walk. So here's the edge of the water. You shouldn't be within this distance to the edge of the water if you're out there in any of these bodies of water here like this. You'll see this. I would call this a pond back home because we have ponds this big. Somebody might call it a lake, but when you have a body of water like this in the neighborhoods, and they're all over Florida here, assume there's an alligator in it. Many of these places will have a sign that warns there's an alligator, but don't get within 10 feet of the edge of the water, I would say, or more, because you could get ambushed. And I'll come back to that video. Let's watch this. Let this play out.
lunges out of the water, attacks, and kills her. This is cell phone video taken by a resident as trappers pulled the 10-foot alligator out of this pond. People here in Spanish Lakes Fairway say the gator often sunned on the banks. Today, FWC says it attacked and killed an 85-year-old woman.
At approximately 12:07 this afternoon, our Emergency Operations Center received a call that there was an incident in this park, which is Spanish Lakes Fairways, which is located just west of 95 off Endura Road, involving a resident and an alligator.
Just pause here. I had that dispatch center wrong. It's not here in Broward County. So I was wrong about that.
The sheriff's office helicopter helped locate the alligator, and trappers came in and caught it lurking on the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, he fought pretty good. Definitely fought pretty good. Snagged him on the bottom. He never surfaced. He stayed down the whole time. We were able to get a second hook in him and then get a hard line in him so we could get him up.
Trappers say any nuisance gator over 4 feet long can be legally removed from a residential lake like this.
He didn't take enough to be removed. He should be here.
Yeah. Definitely.
FWC isn't offering many details. Neighbors say the victim was walking her dog. It is unclear whether the gator pulled her into the water, and if so, whether she was able to get back out.
That's just completely incorrect information. Well, the next video we watch will clearly demonstrate what happened.
It all was a shocking reality for people who live here.
So I wanted him out of here. I wanted euthanized and removed. And then I said, wow, that's a big one. Never seen any alligator that close to me, that big.
And that alligator is now gone if they got the right one. Residents here tell me there's lots of alligators in these lakes all around. Some of them come up in their backyards and sun under their cars. And in fact, in this very lake, they say there's another one just as big.
Okay. Lots of alligators in the lakes all over the place there. So what happened? All right, I'm gonna direct your attention to this portion of the screen here, and then as soon as I see it be visible, we're gonna watch this alligator, who we don't know exactly where it originated from, spots her or the dog from over here and quickly moves across the water. I don't think there's any audio on this. I just got it turned down. That's right, people put stupid music on there. Just drives me nuts. Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here. Right here, as soon as I remove this this pointer here, look in this location here. Something just broke the surface here. You see it? It's tracking in right here. So I'm gonna stop here. No situational awareness whatsoever. And she's right on water's edge. Now, why does she need to be on the edge of the water here? There's no reason to be within any distance here down closer to that. I mean, I just don't get this. And this sign is part of this video somebody put in here. But how does anybody live in Florida for more than 5 minutes and not know it's not safe to do this? This is ridiculous. She put herself and her dog at risk, and look at what happened. Okay, we'll continue. See it trucking along there? I didn't do that. I don't know what that was. Let me go back for a moment here. It's cruising along there. I guess somebody edited this video that did that. I wouldn't do that. Look at it. You see that moving? Look at it. It's moving at a fast pace. It's going to have a meal. And now, I'm going to put this in slow motion. I'm going to slow this way down here so you can watch this. And then I'll play it back at real-time speeds so you can see what happens. So look at it coming up. It's coming up for the dog. The dog sees it happening. Then the lady finally kind of notices something. She almost puts the dog in its mouth, but then she falls down in front of it. And then here's fire rescue, sheriff's department, and I want you to watch this here too. I'm going to go back to normal speed. We'll go back to that in just a minute. Actually, let's just go ahead and do it right now so you can watch how fast this attack happens. Okay, this is an alligator attack. Yeah, I was going for the dog. So we've got fire rescue. We've got 2 sheriff's patrol cars on scene. Here's the lady here who made the actual call and tried to initiate the rescue. Here is the woman who's now unconscious in the water. That's where her body is. How is it? I want to know about these guys right here, these 2 officers. How is it possible that they can miss this activity here? Look, watch them. It's like they don't actually understand what they're seeing here. This alligator clearly has somebody in its mouth. And not a single one of them is making any effort to do anything. They had a chance to when the body was here. Okay, so it comes back to the surface again because she's floating. her body's going to want to tend to float here. So it's right at the surface again back here. And they're just walking off. So instead of keeping watch on this right here, I think we had some kind of normalcy bias going on there. And they're like, oh, I don't see this taking place. So I'm being a little bit critical of them. But look, it's completely this lady's fault. Everything that happened here is the lady's fault. Okay, we're moving on. I'm trying to make a point. Stay the hell away from the edge of the water here. Let me get that video. Where's that other video? All right, where is alligator? Here we go. I'm going to pause this. There is the open mouth of an alligator right here. Okay? They are ambush predators. They wait by the edge of the water and they ambush. I would not be in that position right there because I would be fearing maybe somebody like zoomed in on that. But I still wouldn't want to be as close as it looks like this camera is. Look at that. Okay? This is what's waiting at the water's edge. Just for you. Okay? Okay, so here we go again.
Snatched by a gator, and it's all caught on camera. Now the owner is mourning his dog and sharing a warning to others. Fox 35's Holly Bristow has this story.
Two puppies running in their backyard towards the lake for a swim. Suddenly, an alligator launching itself out of the water, grabbing a hold of one, not letting go.
Well, I'm sad.
Dale Barberry had no idea he'd come home from work, noticed he couldn't find his puppy Mia.
So I got in the truck, drove around the neighborhood, asking all the neighbors if they'd seen her.
That was Thursday.
And Friday I went to work, came home Friday, still no Mia. So then I said, well, I better look at the cameras. And I figured somebody might have opened the gate and stole her.
Nothing there when he checked his back camera.
And as I was going through the footage, then I saw it right at 12:32 in the afternoon. And it kind of set me back a little bit.
Mia would have turned 6 months old tomorrow, telling me his poor pup didn't stand a chance against the large alligator.
It looked from the video as though it just darted right at her. The wildlife officer said he'd never seen an alligator attack like that.
All right, I'm going to pause it there. We got a fish and wildlife officer here in the state of Florida that said he'd never seen an alligator attack like that. Listen to this.
That it resembled more of a crocodile-style attack.
Crocodiles, alligators, caimans, they're all ambush predators. They lay in wait and ambush their prey. Look at any footage of it. We're going to see more of that in here. But you got this guy. Let's let the video finish before I go in, because I'm going all in on this guy.
He's been Paisley for 16 years.
16 years.
What's the biggest gator you've seen out here on this lake?
3, maybe 4 feet.
Do you ever have any fears of dogs and gators colliding?
No, because we swim, jet ski out there.
Neighbors telling him an elderly woman across the lake had been feeding alligators. She died recently. The lesson in all of this?
Well, the biggest thing I want people to take away from it is to be aware of the wildlife and don't feed them. When you feed them, they lose their fear of people. And once they lose their fear of people, they will attack.
In Paisley, Holly Bristow, Fox 35 News.
A pet snatch.
Okay, so that what he just said, all right, is true. Nobody should be feeding the alligators. That's just going to ask for trouble for everybody. The alligator, for the person feeding them. But it's not applicable to this situation. The alligator attacked a dog. It would always attack a dog. So its lack of fear of a human being has nothing to do with the alligator attacking a dog. That's just nonsense. This guy's lived in Florida for 16 years. How is it possible that this man doesn't figure in and keep his dogs protected from an incident like this? I'm going to go all in. What an idiot. To me, that guy's an idiot. And that's just my personal opinion. All right? Everything in this video is my personal opinion, by the way, attorneys that might try to sue me. So, you've got a person who's on water's edge here, who's probably underestimating the size of the gators he sees, or maybe that's all he's ever seen. But what difference does that make? And his dog gets killed because of his negligence. And I think it's great to let your dog run free in your yard. I wish I could do that all the time with our dogs here. But the bottom line is they live on the water's edge in a state that has over 1 million alligators. So this guy's solely to blame for this. He's completely responsible for the death of that dog. And it's, to me, it's like he served it up to that alligator. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to the next one here. Yeah, 16 years. Oh, and I'm surprised that my dog got killed by an alligator. I'm surprised that hadn't happened before now, actually. Okay, so here you go. If you're squeamish, you should have already left the video anyway. Watch this. Now here is a crocodile attack. That's it. It's rolling and pulling it under. That dog is having the time of its life in the water, and some stupid idiot let that happen. Man, could just, some people hate it when I say this, but can we bring back the good old days in Greece when we had euthanasia for human beings? Really? It might be easier to euthanize human beings than all these animals in the shelter. Yeah, I know. I've got a dark sense of humor, but you're just going to have to deal with it. So that's what it actually looks like. All right, let's do it again. I want you to see that. That's really not graphic. Not to me, it's not. That's it. That's just... What can I say? Too bad the owner wasn't there. Too bad it wasn't the owner. Okay, and then you're going to love this guy here. So watch this footage. Let's do this full screen. Sorry, I keep forgetting to do full screen on these YouTube videos. Look at that. He has got that. There's probably a 3-foot alligator right there. And I bet the alligators that guy's seen is bigger than that. So, I'm sorry, I should be playing the audio for copyright, I think.
20 seconds, it was a wrestling match between man and gator. Richard with what appears to be a cigar in his mouth the entire time.
I was going to make a comment about that. He keeps that cigar in his mouth the entire time. This guy's fantastic.
Look! In the end, Richard was able to pry Gunner from the small predator's grip, allowing the dog to say, "Later, Gator."
Oh, it was just
now the big mistake.
It happened so fast that, instinct just took over.
3-month-old Gunner managed to escape with only a small wound. Richard ended up with some cuts on his hands.
Everything's going through my mind. He said an alligator, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, I really did not grasp it.
The dramatic rescue was captured as part of a research project where residents living near wildlife habitats allow cameras to be placed in their backyards.
It's definitely not typical. It's not what we expected to see.
With more than 1 million alligators in the state of Florida, the chance of a person being hurt during an unprovoked gator attack is still rare, about 1 in 3.1 million. Which means you have a better chance of being struck by lightning. Dogs are more likely to be attacked since they look similar to gators' prey.
We just need to respect wildlife, understand our surroundings, and take those precautions that we need to take in order to make sure that something like this never happens to anyone else.
A lesson Richard and Gunner are taking to heart. For Today, Joe Fryer, NBC News.
Wow. I know. No one would have believed him if not for the camera there, right?
Right.
He never lost a cigar.
Right. That's my favorite part. My favorite
terrifying turn in Florida.
Muted. That guy's got a cigar in his mouth the entire time. This is probably a dude you'd probably want to have a beer with. Man, he's awesome in my book. Kept the cigar in his mouth. Wrangled that little dog out of that. If that alligator had been any bigger, it probably would have moved off into the water so quickly. He just was never seen that little dog again. I just hate to see stuff like that happen to dogs, because my dogs are probably dogs are one of my favorite species on the planet. And then we're going to get into this. Every time we have an attack by an alligator down here, then we get into this mass hysteria thing that starts happening. It's not unusual to see alligators sunning themselves, crossing the street, or just doing normal alligator stuff anywhere in the state of Florida. If you get anywhere near the edge of the Everglades, you'll see even more of them. So after an animal attack here, or after any kind of attack by an alligator, we see this. Let me cue this up.
Hanging out, minding its own. Take a look at this. An alligator just hanging out, minding its own business. Chapter 4 above the scene in Doral on 105th Street and Northwest 112th Avenue. Police were called to the scene and ended up, well, calling Florida Fish and Wildlife for some backup. They were able to quickly wrangle up that gator, and as far as we know, no one was hurt. Looks like he didn't want to go. Take a look at this. An alligator just hanging out, minding its own business.
Keywords, hanging out, minding its own business. You get this mass hysteria thing that goes on, and then they act like dinosaurs of the days of old are prowling the neighborhood, that they want to pillage and eat their children. Like, you know, there's just alligators that are running around. Where are the children at? Where are the children? It's absolutely mind-boggling. And then I'll go ahead. I'm going to go in on the police on the next video because we're almost done here.
In tonight's Wild Florida, an alligator roundup you saw right here on Local 10. We're hearing from the officer who detained the scaly suspect. Local 10's Louis Grace in the newsroom with more.
Yeah, pretty impressive. This all began when police responded to reports of an alligator on the side of the road. Let's take you right to Sky 10. All this playing out along Southwest 136th Street and 97th Avenue in Southwest Miami-Dade. Police say the 16.5-foot gator first went back into the water and then came back out. You can see officers trying to surround it with their patrol cars before one of them gets out. After trying several times to lasso the gator, that officer finally captures the gator with a tow rope before tying it to the cruiser.
It's a soft rope. I was able to lasso it around its top legs, and it was in the midsection where I was able to just hold it and secure it so that it wouldn't go out into the street. I just made a split-second decision saying I gotta hold this gator, I gotta contain it, and that's what I went by.
He's a hero. FWC trappers eventually arrived on scene with the gator trying to roll out of another lasso. Officers then draped a towel over the gator before pinning it down and taping its snout. The gator was then moved to the back of a truck. We reached out to FWC to see what will happen to the gator. We're still waiting to hear back, but hopefully he's out there swimming somewhere in the Florida wild.
In tonight's Wild Florida, an alligator.
Okay, once again, we have an alligator that's not posing a threat to anyone, and then you've got people who have no business. Let me get to this point here. Where's it at? Sorry, bear with me. Here we go. Okay. I got it exactly where I want it. One, have no business handling animals. They're police officers. Law enforcement's their activity. They should stick to law enforcement and stay away from handling wildlife. This is not the job for a police officer. You don't have the training, you don't have the tools, and you are going to cost the taxpayers a lot of money if you get injured. And more importantly, what if something goes wrong? You know what happens when you lose against an alligator like this? We're going to watch here in just a moment the spinning that takes place when they get a hold of something or when they're trying to escape. So you get that alligator, it's got your arm, your leg, your head, whatever happens to grab a hold of, and now it's spinning around in there. It's twisting. It'll twist your arm or your leg or your foot right off of your body, no problem. And then you want to lose a limb just so you can catch an alligator and be the crocodile hunter? You're not Steve Irwin. And also to remember one thing. Remember what happened to Steve Irwin? He's dead. He didn't die from an alligator, but he's dead from messing with wildlife that he probably shouldn't have been messing with. So let's watch this play out. Okay. Look, I would say it's hard to gauge because, you know, we're looking at this from a helicopter image here. Look how close his hand is to that alligator. This alligator could swing its entire upper body, front forward portion of its body, reach up here and grab his hand, as we saw in that very first video that we watched, where the baby alligator grabbed that guy's nose. It'll happen so fast that you won't know what's happened until it's over. It'll happen so fast, you won't know what happens until it's over. And look, guys, look, I know in Broward County, Miami-Dade police officers, I got to work with you, and I want to keep a good relationship. But you get involved with these wildlife situations that you shouldn't be getting involved with. We need you on the street. We don't need you with a limb missing in the hospital. Okay? So that's my point. All right, so let's watch this. Okay? It's just trying to get away. And then he just this guy made a bad decision, in my opinion, because the animal was posing no threat to anyone. None. All right, so now it's coming into, now watch this. Here comes the spinning. You see that? Look at that. You won't be able to control that, not unless you have other people who can jump on top of it and grab it. Like as we showed in, I'm going to pause this for a second. We're going to go to, as was shown in video 11, postmortem number 11 is where you can go and find that. Look, stay away from the water's edge. Keep your animals in a safe location. Just think of what your animal's gone through. They just get clamped down on by a gator, drug into the water, and drowned, and then just swallowed whole, depending on what size they are. I don't know. To me, that just doesn't seem like a good option for your pet. If you want to take that risk and the animal comes to get you, I got no problem with that. But leave your pet out of it. You know, I mean, like, that lady should have known better. And that other guy should have known better than to let his dog get that close to the water's edge, the old man with the cigar. And whoever put their dog in that position there in Africa, they shouldn't have done that. Look what happened to that dog. It's over. You're not going to recover it. You'd be lucky. That guy was really lucky that was a smaller alligator. Okay. Jeez. I wish I had better videos, but this video needs to be made, and people need to hear that message of staying the hell away from the water. Look down there on the lower side of the screen. That's our email. That's where you're going to email us your suggestions for videos to cover, and then go to our website, sign up for a newsletter. There you'll find out all the information. We won't flood your inbox with a bunch of crap. All we're going to do is you're going to receive blog posts about whatever's happening. It could be a new video, product review for emergency service type kit. Subscribe if you can. But more importantly, make sure that you like the video, share it on social media. And I hope you got something out of this video. Leave a comment down in the description, okay? That's it. This is Big Boss. Bye.